Hello, everyone. This is Andrew, the founder and CEO of Vendium Global, and I'm joined today by Dr. Belton, who is the founder and president of Go Culture International. So, thank you so much for joining me today, Dr. Belton.
Yeah, Andrew, thank you so much. Always great to spend time talking with you.
Sure, sure. And kind of what I wanted to talk about today is right now we're taking a much more digital approach into our operations considering the COVID-19 pandemic. So a lot of people are using Zoom more often. I saw the statistics on it where they had a massive uptick of users for Zoom or for Google Hangouts, different web platforms. And I know since your service is a web-based and computer-based product, I wanted to get some of your input about how a computer-based learning can be so impactful to people. And in so many cases, we think about how technology separates us, like social media is supposed to bring us together, but in most cases, it causes division. So how, in your experience, does computer-based learnings and your service help people in organizations in connecting, and how can they help during this time?
Yeah, that's a good question. Very timely for sure. I spoke with recently a private school headmaster who saw him out for a jog, and he stopped and we talked briefly. And he said his faculty, had he wanted to move classes online, would have taken probably about $150,000 in consulting over 3 years. And his faculty still would have said, we don't want to do this. And because of COVID, in 2 days, they launched an entire online program and they love doing it, right? And it's been successful. So, you know, we were in a similar situation not long ago where we are offering an online solution to what's been done in person for years. And because we had not done that before, or because that had not been done before, I should say, there's a tendency, I think, for folks to think, well, it can't be done. We've all heard this before, and so surely it's not effective. Surely it's not. And so what we did, fortunately, is our program Go Culture was really born out of a research initiative. And so we spent 20 years in research and development of an assessment and training program before we ever took it to market. And during that process, we were working with thousands of individuals representing work in over 40 different countries, but it was still kind of in this antiquated consulting type model where we were helping one person here, a couple here, a larger group here, and it was great and it was rich. But we decided, well, we can't help very many people. This is working, but we can't help very many just us face to face. And so we're really nerds, and so we thought, well, if we're going to put this online and help people, then we need to actually test this. Does it actually work? Can we maintain legitimacy of what we have created and what is helping people if we move online? Can we help more people and maintain legitimacy? And so we did some testing. We did testing online versus in person. And it's fascinating, Andrew. So to answer your question, what we discovered is that when individuals learn online, their ability to increase their aptitudes for cross-cultural adaptability, interaction, relocation success, those types of things, their aptitude levels increased greater than if they were trained in person. Now, we were so blown away by this. It was exciting news for us because, it was again, still just a research initiative. It wasn't a business offering, product offering at all at that point. We just thought, wow, we can help so many more people now. And so we launched into a 2-year process of making a really great, rich online experience for people. And so people are learning well online, and we've seen this, right? You've mentioned uptick in video chatting and things. What we have noticed, kind of the second part of your question, what we have noticed is that yes, people learn well online, but they also stay connected well online. There's this, I was going to say age old, but it's definitely not age old. I mean, Facebook's only been around for so long, it feels like a long time, but people always wonder, we're interacting more often, but have we sacrificed a richness of that communication? Well, maybe, but I think right now, when we're faced in a situation where a lot are working remotely and the kind of traditional workforce model has just exploded and it's lying in pieces everywhere, as we're rebuilding this and trying to scrap up pieces where we can to say, okay, how can we put something together that works? We've actually done some studies. I did a consulting project a few years back with a multinational company out of Munich, Germany. and they were experiencing some challenges with relational development and maintenance between individuals cross-culturally from different sites. A lot of us have seen this, and so how do we affect that? This is way before COVID. We used Zoom and we did some video conferencing and things. And what it turns out it actually using video chatting actually tricks your mind into thinking and perceiving that you have physically been in the presence of the other person. So Andrew, let's say you and I are colleagues. We see each other in the office every day. COVID hits. We don't see each other for 2 months in person. We still need to be productive. We still need to maintain a strong professional relationship. Being on video together, though some of us have gotten sick of video chatting, right? But doing that has proven it can actually help us maintain those relationships, maintain cross-cultural interaction relationships, break down some barriers, be more productive together. And then next time we get back together, we have a closer bond. And that's super important as we move out of this season of COVID.
Mm-hmm. No, I love that. And you're absolutely right. Actually, even for my team back in Arkansas, so I'm quarantined, as you know, in Arizona right now. But if we're working on a project live, what we'll do is create a Zoom and just have it just streaming. We may not talk for an hour, but could just hop in, have a quick conversation. And another thing, I was talking to a colleague of mine who's a data scientist, and he was saying, and I know I think I mentioned this to you, was that there was a 300% uptick in consumption of professional media. So things like YouTube or different platforms where people were taking a one-way form of communication. And part of that was the psychology around interacting with a human by seeing someone. So you're actually seeing a human being. So if you were quarantined in an apartment building and you could not leave, then for that, you're probably going to become very stressed by not having that kind of same human connection. So one of the things I like about your platform is that you are able to have both the audio and visual where you can interact with the program, and you can actually even have humans interact with you through it, where I really think that's the future. And I think that right now is a good example of why it's so important, because when you brought up a fantastic example. If I were to tell any of my clients that, hey, your entire workforce needs to work from home and they'll go back whenever, well, they'd probably call me crazy and fire me. But right now, this was forced upon them, so they have to make it work. So it's how you promote the human connection for there. But a great example is through our bots. A lot of the time we'll have clients that say, oh gosh, I interact with bots and I don't like that communication, because I can ask them a question, then they'll just give me the wrong answer. It's, well, first, that was a terribly programmed bot if the natural language processing capabilities can't give you, or at least guide you down a trail that will bring you to the right answer. But that right now, over 80% of all customer service is actually done through an AI. So whether or not it's a bot or something automated. But I'd be curious to know too of where you think that it could be going here in the next 18 months. Is this going to be something that organizations should adopt, could adopt, have to adopt, or is this something that is a nice to have?
Yeah, I think the smart organizations are going to be seeking ways, even if it does not completely substitute what they've done in the past, it can complement what they've done in the past. So that when this happens again, because let's face it, the way this one's gone, there's a likelihood that whether it's in the fall or whether it's 5 years from now, this may very well happen again. So the first lesson we learned is, right, make sure you're stocked up on toilet paper. But beyond that, that's the most important thing we've learned. Have you built systems in place that you can survive? Have you pandemic proofed your business model? And so seeing really thrive in this, it are the ones like, hospitals who say, hey, we cannot see you, we cannot touch you, but we're going to do a Zoom call with you. We call it telehealth. And what do you know? This is streamlining the process. It's growing like crazy. And so I think what that health field was doing ahead of time, kind of like us, people would look at telehealth and think, that's not, that's not going to work. All of a sudden, whoa, that's amazing. It works, and it's really rich and it's efficient. It saves time, saves money. It's all this. And so I think if you can find something similar in your line of work, then you're more likely to survive and thrive. And so what we've been able to do is take what has been done for decades, do it much better, and do it in a kind of 2020 or 2021 way of a completely online scalable model that, like telehealth, gives you a personalized service without personal interaction. And I think that's where companies are going to find success in the future.
Hmm. I love that. I'll use the example of for the pricing model of you could either have a transatlantic flight with the traditional model, or you can have a one-way domestic flight for the Go Culture model. So it's definitely impactful. But yeah, well, thank you so much for taking the time to have a conversation. I look forward to our next one.
Thanks, Andrew. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.